Friends, today we will listen to a touching story. A childless woman, oppressed and neglected by her husband and mother-in-law, becomes helpless. At last, she is thrown out of the house. But by the play of destiny, that same woman achieves such success that one day those very people who once despised her are forced to bow their heads before her. You must listen to the full story. Let's begin the inspiring story of her life. In the northern region of Pakistan, in Gilgit, there lived a couple. Sarah was the wife of Mir Hamza. 5 years had passed since their marriage, but Sarah's lap was still empty. There were only 3 members in their family: Sarah, her husband Hamza, and her mother-in-law Bilkis. Bilkis was a woman of very harsh temperament. The thought that the lamp of her only son's lineage was not being lit kept eating her from within. She would often raise her hands before Almighty Allah and pray, "O Allah, you are my Lord. Only you know my pain and my tears. When everyone neglects me, you are my only refuge. O merciful one, fill the emptiness of my heart through a child. Light up my lonely life with an innocent smile. O Allah, you can make flowers bloom even on barren land. Then why should my lap remain empty? O most compassionate, remove my suffering, accept my prayer, protect me from humiliation, and grant me the sweetness of a child's call." Her mother-in-law poured out all her anger and frustration upon Sarah, saying, "You unfortunate girl, you've turned my golden household into a desert. A woman whose lap never bears a child. She is like a dry tree that will never bear fruit." Such sharp words from her mother-in-law pierced Sarah's heart like arrows. At first, Hamza used to stand by his wife, but as time passed, even that sympathy dried up. Other women in the village began siding with Bilkis. In the market, by the river, or at the village gatherings, wherever they met Sarah, their eyes were filled with pity, and a mocking smile played at the corner of their lips. In the beginning, Sarah used to suffer deeply and cry alone. But gradually, she learned to pretend as if she heard nothing. Yet the wounds deep within her heart kept growing day by day. A few days after their 5th wedding anniversary, one evening, Hamza and Bilkis were sitting in the courtyard talking. When Sarah came out of the room carrying tea, she heard Bilkis's voice. "Listen, Sarah, I had something to tell you." Sarah quietly put down the cup of tea and looked calmly at her mother-in-law. Without even looking at her, Bilkis began to speak. "Look, it's been 5 years, and you still haven't given us a child. At this rate, my son's lineage will end. I can't wait any longer. I've arranged another marriage for my son. I've already chosen the girl. Her name is Eliza. As beautiful as she is gentle and well-mannered. I hope she will be able to light the lamp of our family." Those words fell upon Sarah like a mountain collapsing over her head. The ground beneath her feet began to slip away. The whole world seemed to sway. She couldn't utter a single word, only looked at her husband. Hamza glanced at her once, then lowered his eyes. His silence told Sarah everything, that he fully agreed with this decision. Sarah's heart shattered within, but she said nothing. With her head bowed, she quietly went back to her room. As she was leaving, Bilkis's sharp voice rang from behind. "We didn't tell you to ask for your permission, only to inform you. No need to make a scene." Within a week, the wedding music filled the air. The whole village seemed to be celebrating. Mir Hamza's second marriage. Everywhere there was dancing, singing, and the sound of drums. Everyone eagerly waited to see the new bride, Eliza. And Sarah wept silently. The wedding was over. Eliza came home as the new bride. The next morning, Hamza entered Sarah's room. His face was full of irritation and coldness. In a harsh tone, he said, "Listen, Sarah, my wife Eliza doesn't like you living in this house, and I can't keep two wives under the same roof. You better go to your father's old abandoned house. You are no longer needed here." Hearing this, it felt as if the sky had fallen upon Sarah's head. Her father's house was far away, deeper into the mountains. No one lived there anymore. After her parents passed away, the house had been left abandoned. With unbearable pain and humiliation in her heart, Sarah tied a small bundle with her few clothes and belongings. When she reached her father's old, worn-down house, tears rolled down her cheeks again. In front of the house was a small piece of land, which her father once cultivated with great care. But years of neglect had made it barren and useless. All around, there were only thorns and wild bushes. Every night, she would sit on her prayer mat, raise her hands, and tell her sorrows to Allah. "O my Lord, you see everything. Only you understand my pain. I have no one but you. Show me the way. Give me strength. I can't bear this suffering any longer. Grant me patience, my master." She prayed like this every night, weeping. One evening, as she sat sadly at her doorstep, she saw an old man walking toward her house. He was dressed in pure white clothes. His skin was fair, and his face glowed with a heavenly light. Sarah had never seen such a beautiful and graceful man before. The old man came near and greeted her. "Assalamu alaikum, my daughter." Sarah replied, "Wa alaikum assalam. I don't seem to recognize you." The old man smiled gently and said, "There's no need for you to know me, my daughter. Rather, tell me, why are you sitting here so sad in this deserted house?" The warmth in his voice melted Sarah's heart. She told him everything, all her pain, her humiliation, her sorrow of being childless, her husband's second marriage, and how she was thrown out of her home. After hearing everything, the old man took out a small cloth pouch from his bag. Handing it to Sarah, he said, "In this pouch are some saffron seeds. Take the name of Allah and plant these seeds in that small piece of land of yours. Do not lose patience. Keep working with faith in Allah. You'll see. Your days will change one day." Sarah felt hope awaken within her heart. Holding the seeds, she thanked Allah with tears of gratitude. From that day, she began working with new determination. Turning that barren, rocky land into fertile soil was a great challenge for her. She cleared the thorns, removed the stones, and tilled the hard soil. Her soft hands became rough. Blisters formed on her palms, yet she did not stop. Some villagers who saw her working alone laughed at her. After a week of tireless labor, when the land was finally ready, Sarah took the name of Allah and sowed the seeds. It was the perfect season for saffron cultivation. But even after sowing the seeds, days passed, weeks passed, months passed. Not a single sprout appeared on the land. Sarah became disheartened. Every day, she kept staring at the sky with tearful eyes, as if through her gaze, she was pouring all her pleas out to Allah. Suddenly, she remembered that old man in white clothes. He had said, "Do not lose patience." As soon as those words came to her mind, Sarah gathered herself once again. She began taking care of the land anew, watering the soil, cleaning the weeds, leaving no flaw in her efforts. One night, as she fell into a deep sleep, Sarah had a dream. She saw that the same old man was walking over her field, gently touching the crops with his hand, and immediately saffron plants began to sprout from the ground, growing taller, blooming with flowers. The air filled with the sweet fragrance of bright red saffron. The sound of the Fajr prayer call woke her up. She quickly performed ablution and stood for prayer. After finishing her namaz, she went outside, and what she saw made her unable to believe her own eyes. Her dream had turned into reality. Her little piece of land was covered with purple saffron flowers. The flowers swayed gently in the breeze, and from each flower peeked out strands of deep red saffron. It felt as if every flower was smiling at her, congratulating her that her days of sorrow were finally over. Seeing this, Sarah immediately fell to the ground in prostration. Tears flowed continuously from her eyes. While crying, she kept thanking her Almighty Lord. Raising both her hands toward the sky, she said, "Allah, you have answered my call. You have accepted my prayer. I am grateful for your boundless mercy. O most compassionate, the way you have helped me, keep me always under your mercy and guidance throughout my life. Alhamdulillah." Then, carrying a basket full of saffron, she set off toward the city market. Her saffron was far superior in quality to ordinary ones. Its color was deep and its fragrance intense. As soon as she reached the market, buyers crowded around her saffron. Everyone was amazed to see such high-quality saffron. At the auction, her saffron fetched the highest price. That day, she returned home with a great amount of money. Not only that, big merchants placed advance orders with her. After returning home, she heard news from the villagers. A kind of pest had attacked the fields, destroying everyone's crops overnight. A shadow of famine had fallen over the whole village. But the astonishing thing was, though everyone's fields were infested, not a single pest had entered Sarah's field. Everyone was amazed to see her land's miraculous protection. Those who once mocked her now looked at her with envy and wonder. 2 days later, in the evening, Sarah saw Mir Hamza standing at her door. His face carried signs of shame and regret. With his head bowed, he said, "Sarah, I have done great injustice to you. Please forgive me." Sarah said nothing, simply looked at him quietly. Hamza continued, "Like everyone else in the village, pests destroyed all my crops too. There isn't a single grain of food left at home. Mother has fallen ill, and seeing my poverty, Eliza has left me and gone back to her father's house. I am completely ruined now. Will you please give me some grain to help me?" Sarah took a deep breath and calmly said, "If you need grain from me, you must pay for every single grain you take." Saying this, she closed the door. Mir Hamza lowered his head in shame and left. From that day on, Sarah never had to look back again. Big city merchants began coming to the village to buy saffron from her. Her reputation as a businesswoman spread far and wide. She demolished her old house and built a new one. Her hard work, patience, and unshakable faith in Allah turned her into the wealthiest and most respected woman in the village. At every step, she thanked Almighty Allah and helped the poor and needy villagers. The same village that once mocked her now came to her seeking help. And in her prayers, she would always say, "O Allah, you heard my prayers. You stood by me in my sorrow. You brought light into my life. I am forever grateful for your boundless mercy. Oh, most merciful, I wish you always remain by my side like this. Your presence is enough for me, so that I never need anyone else. When you are with me, my heart is at peace. My life is complete. O my Lord, keep me always under your mercy and guidance, and protect me from all pain, sorrow, and uncertainty." Friends, from today's story, we learn that those who remain patient and trust in Allah are never left disappointed by Him. The path of life is not as smooth as a bed of flowers, but rather as steep and rough as a mountain. Almighty Allah tests His servants through different trials to measure the depth of their patience and faith. Those who, even in the face of extreme hardship, do not lose patience and keep faith in Allah, continuing to do their best. Allah opens for them doors they could never have imagined. The fruit of patience is always sweet, and Allah's reward is far greater than what His servants can ever imagine. Friends, if you liked this video, then please give it a like, subscribe, and stay connected with us, and share it with your loved ones. Your support is our inspiration. And don't forget to comment and tell us which country you are watching this video from. And yes, those who watch the video till the end, don't forget to write complete or finished in the comments.